Go ahead.
We saw there is a lot of people is suffering gender identity program.
Correct.
Yeah. So in the gender identity, people belongs to which group? There belongs to LGBTQ community.
They, yes, I got your question. So they really don't know what I know they are doing, or I know they don't know whether it is a he or she, right? So these people come under gender non-binary or gender fluid people. They are also under the community. They don't know, they cannot accept key, their identity at birth is totally different, and later when there's a different kind of mindset, the feeling is different, they are attracted to the same gender, and the kind of dressing they wanted to have, the attire, so everything it's just out of the way, right? So these people, when they are in that confusion, these people are coming under gender fluid. They can be anything, but they will have to determine their life. They will have to be very strong, focused to know what they are. Right. Even when I started my transitioning, before starting my transitioning, now I'm a very proud person. But when I started, I felt that insecurity. Why am I getting this feeling? Though I was born a boy, why I don't get attracted to women, but instead I get attracted to a man? And why do I have to, I always love makeups and lipsticks, nail paints, mehndis like this, right? So there are a lot of things. So this, we undergo a lot of discrimination and all those things. So this point of time is very crucial, where it decides your life. You will have to think, and you have to be very mature enough to know who you are, right? And then is where you can come into any of these categories which I've spoken. But this gender fluid is just like, they just started their process, so it takes some time for them to understand who it is, a he or a she, they or them, right? So that is the reason we call it as they or them. It's because it just goes. And there are people, when we talk in the community, they say, still I haven't identified my own self. Let it take some time, and let me decide is what the answer is. I hope I've answered your question, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, any other doubt on this?
To add to what Ilya just said, I think most of them and their children, and they go through this confusion, what's happening with them, and they don't know the terminology. They can't identify. They're just confused. They think something is wrong with them. That I think that is called gender dysphoria, right, Ilya? Where
Correct,
one is very
correct.
confused,
I'm
which so much confusion within themselves, and they think something is wrong with them, and the gender dysphoria has so many other symptoms like distress, anxiety, depression, and negative self image, and strong dislike for your sexual anatomy. Like, I hate myself, like, at the body I'm in.
correct.
I can't connect. My mind is saying I'm a man, but I look like a woman, and you feel, it's just like you're wearing something you hate that your parents have bought you. And can you imagine, like, you just want to tear that apart, but this is your body, and that's the kind of distress that
Adding to
one person
this,
is not sure.
adding to this, adding to this is where I speak about the importance of an ally. Right, it's like the person, if you could really understand what this person is going, and you really support them, and you really guide them emotionally, and you guide them, stand as a backup support, not financially, right? But at least a moral support. Try to understand them. If somebody of your peer, if you could know a person, your neighbors, how undergoing this problem, you call them, talk to them. If they are looking out, let them be happy for whoever they are. Talk to them, guide them. So here they get that courage. You cannot talk to your parents about all this. Rupa, this is what you go, and no, this is the reason why Rupa is called an advocate for the DNI groups. It's like you go and you talk to them, you give them that comfort where they cannot even explain what they're going through, within the family or parents or like relatives, whosoever. But if they are really close to you, and they know that you really support them and you really accept their feelings, then is where they'll start opening up to you. Yeah.
Rupa, I
So
got
she
a
will be.
question. how to find out these people who are there, no, up to certain age, they brought up from their families with a lot of love and affection, everything. One fine day, even from childhood onwards, they are having a lot of tension inside their mind and heart. They are not belongs to this community or that community and all. Then one transition period is coming. Okay. And that is a period, the toughest period for these people. They're not able to explore it themselves. They're not able to discuss with anybody. Correct? And even if they're telling to someone, they're teasing them, they're not accepting them, including the parents. In which way we can help those people, Rupa? The transition period. Mostly it is an adolescent period, right?
Very true.
Adolescence,
No,
yes.
depends. It depends, right? Some of them they know what they want. Some kids, like, they just know what they want. But if they have somebody like, I am the safe space, like Ilya wants to do something and does not know how to go about it, so you become, so that's where I come in, right, as an ally. I have not certified, I have not gone through any course that teaches me how to become an ally. That's what I will be talking about, Felix sir. So how to become an ally at that point is, you stand by them, you just have to hear them out and guide them. You are the safe space, you will not judge them, you should not judge them. Okay, and you should not start giving advice, because you don't know what a person is going through. Only Ilya knows what Ilya is going through at that point of time. So all you can do is listen, and listen with sympathy, and without judging, without any bias, right? And without any preconceived notion about, oh, this is what it is. Oh, no, this person, I think it's just a phase. A lot of us think, okay, teenage, yes, it's a phase where children misbehave, and we will, correct them, we will send them to hostel. And that's where conversion therapy comes, where, parents send them to conversion therapy thinking they will, somebody will magically change them. And what happens there is they're sedated, they're brainwashed, they've been hypnotized, they get these pills that they take. Sir, you are a man, I'm a woman, and we are very proud of it. Just like that, just leave it to them. Why are we even labeling? Why should Ilya even be called a trans woman? Ilya wants to be called a woman, so that's what she should be called. It's her preference. Labeling should stop. And allyship, that's what I want to talk about a little more about it. LGBTQ allies are individuals who support and advocate for the rights and acceptance of the lesbian, gay, transgender, and queer community in different ways, right? So, allies can be people who identify within the community or outside the LGBTQ community. Like for me, I'm a straight woman, I'm a heterosexual woman, and people ask me, what's wrong with you? Why are you so interested? And I'm also a single mother. So that gives them more opportunity to raise question about my gender orientation, right? Or are you also part of the community? I just smile and I say, that is for me to know and for you to imagine. So you imagine whatever you want, right? So because how do you, there has to be, humor is one thing I have learned, Ken, where you can
Very
push
nice.
people away and say, that's, I don't want to answer, so you don't have rights to question me after this. So that's what I'm talking about. So people like me who have the rights, we have the privilege, right? If Ilya is saying something, maybe they will look at Ilya and concentrate more on the appearance of Ilya. But when Roopa is talking, people listen because they have seen somebody like me who dresses like me, who looks like me before. So they listen to me. So I have this privilege of getting their attention. So I need to use this privilege that I get and use it for the community and make people, be the voice of the community and to tell others who don't know anything about it, to educate. Like today, there are students, right, who have no knowledge about. Maybe for somebody, it's some of you, it's a very uncomfortable conversation, and you're happy that it's on a webinar and not in person because you don't know. I have seen this when we have these sessions in office or any other place. You will have people who are feeling very awkward when you keep using the term sexual orientation, because the sex education in India, like it or not, is not as much as it should be, right? Because we are very shy as a nation, and we shy away from a lot of these topics, and we think it's somebody else's job to teach this. So no, it is not somebody else's job. It starts from home. I have a 12-year-old son. He knows the difference. He knows the difference between straight person, gay person, transgender. He's met Ilya. So if I can teach, and my son was 10 when he was exposed to this lifestyle, and where I had friends coming in, staying over, who didn't have home to go, they would come and stay with me, right? So when I can tell him, because I am sympathetic myself, so I can tell my son, this is what it is. I can lay the foundation and he will build on that. Today, he corrects his friends in school who call somebody, look at, is that a she or a he? Looks gay. He corrects those kids. So I have started that already in my 12-year-old son's life, and he's going to spread that around, right? And the generation today, whether we like it or not, are much more confident and much more open to these thoughts, and they don't even want to be labeled. When one day my son said, I said, this is what is happening, we're having this LGBTQ session. He's like, what is wrong with you all in office? Everybody is human. That's all
Yes,
it is. And it
exactly.
is voice at that time. That's where we become the voice. That's where we allies and advocates play our part, right? Because allies can demonstrate their support in various ways, including volunteering for LGBTQ organization, attending events like pride marches. Quite a few of them don't come for these marches. I have asked people, why don't you join us? Oh no, what if some of them see me and they think I'm gay? What if I think, no, I don't want to work with you all? I'm like, can you imagine somebody educated in a way? I'm like, a working person saying this, because there's a bias in it, and you have to call that out. He's like, you can wear a badge saying I'm an ally. I'll give you that big bag, big board. Just come, just support, right? And then you can raise funds for these charities. There are so many ways to be a good ally. You can educate others. Like today, this is what I'm doing. I'm not a person, I don't know if you'll all believe it or not, I'm not a public speaker. I have fear of stage. I get very nervous. I lose my thoughts and I don't know what I should say. But I'm getting out of comfort zone only because I want to speak for the community. This does not come easily for me. I practice. I have to speak in the mirror, or I have to make notes. I spoke to Ilya so many times. What do I say? Right? So ultimately, allies recognize that the struggle of equality and respect is ongoing, and it's a collective responsibility, right? And they demonstrate an active commitment to support the LGBTQ community in all facets of their personal and professional lives. Right. So
Rupa, it is
professional
not
life.
that the
Adding to
people don't
this,
want support and other things. Rupa, the
Right.
problem
Right.
is actually they are ignorant.
Very
Okay.
true.
The
Very
adding
true.
to
very
this,
Right.
I would
purpose
like
of
to talk about pride.